You spoke to us the other day about Harris Ralph, who we've just seen take five for here. Started off life selling telephones and supplementing his income playing tape ball cricket, which you said was a semi-professional league. We have some with commentary of exactly what you were talking about. It's extraordinary.
Power up Pathan. It's a biggie.
Ball. We found this on YouTube, so this is going to air on YouTube with big crowds.
They're second-tier cities or maybe even villages. So get a lot of crowd. These pros, they're special pros. They get paid quite a bit of money to pop up and play for their team.
Who tapes up the balls? Is that the
I
umpiring?
think it's the umpiring. You need quite a few balls. You can't just have one.
No.
There's 6, 8 balls lying in a box, taped, properly done.
Imagine you swinging one of those tape balls, Wes.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play tape ball cricket, but Harris Ralph, he got picked up by look at these shots, look at the crowd, and proper commentary. Good
over the flats.
We need to go and work on this.
Proper sponsors too. The proper sponsors.
Well, they're doing better than the big break because we don't have a sponsor at the moment. Anyone out there that's interested, I'm sure you'll be on board for the Test match. OK, Marcus Harris made runs today for Australia A. McSweeney didn't make runs. Harris was really effective. We can have a look at some highlights of Marcus Harris. Surely it doesn't come down to this stage one innings, but Marcus Harris 74 out of about 180 was really good.
Yeah, he played nicely. I've watched a bit of this. The pitch is doing plenty, so he showed a great deal of balance, left the ball nicely, and every time he got an opportunity to put it away, he favours that offside, and he played some beautiful shots through the offside, and there you go, working it on the onside. I would think that the selectors already know. By the fact that Nathan McSweeney went from batting in the middle order last week to opening this week, I think there's the indication that he's going to be opening in the Test match.
Well, all will be revealed in a couple of days' time when Australia announce their Test squad. India's already announced their squad, and Rohit Sharma, for personal reasons, I think his partner is having a baby, could miss 1 or 2 Test matches. So Jasprit Bumrah is the vice-captain. Is he the captain?
He will be the captain if he's the vice-captain, yes, but we all know how good he is as a bowler. But in Australia, you know, captaining the side, leading the side is a different ball game.
So do you stick with Bumrah? Do you go back to Virat Kohli? He's captained 1 Test, Jasprit Bumrah, in England, which India didn't lose. But you could have 2 fast bowlers open the bowling.
You have to look ahead.
Side. Right.
So it's his time now, Jasprit Bumrah's time as a captain. Virat Kohli had his time as a skipper.
But Rohit Sharma's the captain.
He is.
Yeah, so Rohit Sharma comes back, he's the captain.
Yes, but when he's not here, when he's away on personal leave...
Jasprit Bumrah.
Without
any question, yeah. And I think, you know, pace bowler versus pace bowler, I think it'd be fascinating. I don't think it's ever happened in the Test game. I'm sure it may have happened a long time ago, but in recent times I don't recollect it happening. Bumrah's got a smart cricket brain, and clearly the most important thing for India is his bowling.
Yeah.
And so he's got to get that right, but yeah, he'll captain, I think, Rohit Sharma as soon as he gets
it can affect his bowling if the team is not doing well, because under pressure, you as a bowler, I remember when I became captain at the age of 24, 25, out of the blue. Typical Pakistan cricket, never captained any club side in my life. Ever. Nothing. Not even a school team. And then I became a Pakistan captain at the age of 24.
That was the first team you captained, your national Test side?
Yep.
Only in Pakistan.
Didn't go down well.
Have a look at some of these numbers. This is the Brendan McCullum era. We've got this for you, Michael. England Test results under Brendan McCullum, the so-called basball. They play so much Test cricket, which is fantastic. 32 Test matches, 20 wins, 11 losses, 1 draws. A lot of those wins came early. Simple question, basball, yes or no?
Yeah. Well, I've always said baseball with brains is what England require. For them to beat India next summer, I think in their own backyard they'll be fine. But to come here in 12 months' time to beat this Australian side, there's no chance in a million years that they're going to beat this Australian side just playing one way. And clearly over the last 2 years in particular, as soon as the ball does anything laterally, that seam or swing or spin or a bit of bounce, the England batting lineup just relies on Joe Root. Joe Root gets a score, they get to some kind of number and they're very competitive. I think Ben Duckett's now becoming a very dependable player at the top. They've got Jamie Smith at number 7, he looks a high-class player, but you know, you look at it in Pakistan, as soon as the ball started to spin, from that first test, I mean, Stokesy, the captain, leaves a straight one, very unlike him, but from getting 800 and plenty in the first test on a flat one to then hardly getting near to that 800 again throughout the rest of the series. And you look at some of these dismissals, you know, the technical side of the England team, if it's flat, they're absolutely fine, but as soon as it does anything, you sometimes you're going to get behind the curtains because it's not a great look.
Well, there's a big build-up for that Ashes series, big build-up for the US election. We don't typically talk politics on the big break, but a lot of people won't realise cricket fans are rejoicing that Donald Trump is once again going to be the President of the United States, because cricket fans want to see more of this.
This is the country where your people cheer on some of the world's greatest cricket players, from Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
I can't get enough of that.
He did well, though.
I can't get enough of that. We go to the West Indies playing a one-day international, and Alzari Joseph, who's a man that doesn't show much emotion on the field, he had a bit of a dispute with Hope, the captain, and stormed off the ground. Said, I'm done. Darren Sammy tried to convince him to get about the coach, and he's copped two matches for this morning. So he's had enough, Alzari.
I've seen some storm-offs in my time, but I reckon that's up there. To storm, and he had the set two with the skipper. I think it's the next ball to Jordan Cox. He bowls a beauty. Kind of a bounce. It goes through to the keeper. He gets the wicket, and then he storms
off. He goes. So, hence, as we do on the big break, great cricket storm-offs, and we've got a few here. This is 1971. Cricket fans hurled beer at England. There's John Snow getting attacked. So England, they'd had enough. They left the field back in 1979. Hey. Dennis Lilly with the combat. The aluminium bat, wasn't allowed to use it. Threw the bat and stormed off. Look at this. Rodney Hogg, given out in an unusual circumstance, whacked the stumps at the MCG and said, I've had enough. Off he went, and this is Lily and your man, Sonny Gavaskar. Big shout. Sonny didn't think he was out, so he took his entire side off the ground, which is quite extraordinary. Mike Gatting.
I remember that.
Umpire Shakur Rana said he had to apologise, and he didn't, so he took his team off. And then Murali here in Australia called no ball for throwing. So Arjuna Ranatunga threatened and did say he was going to take his side off the ground. Then your mate Shoaib Akhtar on a panel recently, I don't know what happened here was.
This was, I think, the last World Cup, T20 World Cup that happened in Australia.
So he completely stormed off, and then Piers Morgan would have enough as well. He's one of the great storm-offs. So there's some of the great storm-offs we have seen on the big break. Now, here's a chance. If you like your cricket and your music, have a look at the graphic on screen. Cricket Rocks, featuring Brett Lee, Shane Lee, Gavin Robertson, Brad McNamara, one of the great cricket bands. They are playing after a full summation of Australia, India. David Warner will be there, Brett Lee, Mark Waugh, you'll be there, Simon Autographs taking front selfies. Row. So it's out at Rudy Hill on the 15th of November, Sydney Coliseum. Get yourself tickets to see a fantastic bit of entertainment, a panel and 6 and out as well.